Hello and welcome to a not so awesome review. And today we're looking at the S.H Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Majin Vegeta action figure by Bandai and Tanami Nations. Tamashi Nations. Can never get that right on my first try. Anyways, this figure, it's all right. There's been a lot of people complaining about it for various reasons, and for the most part, I agree with a good amount of them. Not all of them, because I feel like sometimes people do kind of just get in there and get too mad for necessarily kind of dumb reasons. But on this one, I can see why people aren't so happy with it, and especially it kind of shows how lazy Tamashi Nations has kind of been with the last few figures. Now, don't get me wrong, this one, for the most part, doesn't show nub marks all over the figure, kind of like the Goku Black did, which is still a good figure, but man, I really wish I mentioned in that review, and I'm going to mention it here, and probably for a while, the hair on that figure was not accurate. It was just a reuse of the Super Saiyan hair from Goku, which, again, for Goku Black, Goku Rose, whatever you want to say, it was not the accurate hair. Dragon Star Series actually got that part of it right. So, yeah, with this Vegeta, I've seen some complaints, and I agree the hair isn't right. Now, I've seen people defend it saying, well, he wasn't Super Saiyan 2 when he fought Goku the first time, whatever, when he first transformed. Not when he fought Goku. When he fought Goku, he was a Super Saiyan 2. The thing is, when he went Majin Vegeta, his hair was kind of already not regular Super Saiyan like this. It did look slightly different already. And, of course, when he goes Super Saiyan 2, it just looks completely different. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's Vegeta's hair. A lot of people are like, well, it's spiky and it's up. Is there a difference? There actually is. It's a lot more spiky. So, yeah, the fact that they didn't do Super Saiyan 2 hair for him does kind of show that they're being lazy with new sculpts. I mean, it's not just Vegeta. Like I said, they did it with Goku Black. His Super Saiyan Rose hair is wrong. And for whatever reason, it feels like they don't want to put out Super Saiyan 2 hair. There has been no Super Saiyan 2 hair for Goku, which is odd considering how many versions they released. You think when they did I want to say when they did Super Saiyan 3, they could have released a Super Saiyan 2 head, but the way his head was hinged onto his body, I think was unique, though still would have been cool to kind of get like a legacy thing with like the regular head, Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 3. That's just my opinion on that. But, anyways, aside from that, the only other big complaint is that two of his faces are almost exactly the same. Now, this wasn't supposed to happen. From what I can tell, the eyes on one of them was actually supposed to be looking off to the right like it does in the packaging of the box. Uh, Not to mention that if you look at the figures, I think the eyes are actually a little bit darker on the other one. And actually, let me bring up the face that I'm talking about because it's right here. This face and this face. If I can lower Vegeta, you can see they're almost identical. Now, the mouths are slightly different. He does have a vein on here, and the eyes are a little bit darker on the one on the right. You can see his actual whiteness of his eye on the right here is a little bit bigger, while the left one is a little bit smaller. That's because, like I said, I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be looking off to the side to kind of match the pose that they were doing on the box. I guess someone messed up when they finalized it, because this isn't just on mine, this is on everybody's. So that kind of sucks, but it is slightly different. Again, I don't know. I feel like they could have caught that before it went out, especially considering this is a web shop exclusive, meaning there is no second run of this figure. What we're getting is what we're getting. So, disappointing in that regard. Another complaint, and I want to kind of get all of these out of the way before we get too far into the review, is the fact that he's kind of shiny. I'll agree that the top half of him right here on his chest is actually glossy compared to the lower part of his chest and his legs and everything. I mean, his legs are a little bit shiny, but the paint is a little bit different. This is a brighter blue. It's glossy. I want to say the crotch is a little bit more glossy than the rest of his torso, and his legs, they're a little bit more dulled out. So it's kind of weird that they did that. It's not shading or anything. It's just two different things. One's matted, the other two are glossy, and it's kind of weird. And I agree, it looks off, but if you're not looking at it in like the lighting I have right now with so many lights hitting it, and you're just looking at a normal display, it's not too obvious, I should say. It's still an annoyance, but it's not as bad as people are saying. Another thing, and this is, I think, just on mine actually, On the crotch piece, there is a kind of like line going here, and this is hard plastic, so I don't know how that happened. There's actually a line going in the back here where it's molded together, and there is a nub mark in the hair, and there are nub marks on the little inner shirt piece, but again, nowhere near as bad as the Goku Black figure. All of that aside, I do like this figure. I think he's pretty cool. You know, his articulation is very good, except for one other major flaw, which I'll get into in a second. It's not really a flaw, it's just kind of a disappointment. But before we get into that, he does come with 3 pairs of hands plus one kind of posed hand for a specific scene in the show. He comes with a pair of fists, pair of style posing hands, a pair of open blast, not blast hands, but yeah, they're open blast hands. Is really the best way to put it. And then the 2 fingers and thumb out. I don't remember exactly what scene that was. I think when he was attacking Goku with those little round things and he trapped him on the rock. I want to say that's what it's from, but I could be completely wrong. Still, really cool. It comes with it. Comes with a total of 5 faces, which is a very good amount. 5 faces, love it. Of course, 2 of them are very similar because I'm assuming, like I said, it's an error, but still cool that they tried to do that anyway. It comes with his normal standard face, the face with the vein that looks almost exactly like the other one that I showed you guys a second ago. It comes with a laughing face, a teeth gritting face, and a smiling happy face, all of which represent Majin Vegeta pretty perfectly, and I love them. They look really good. Changing the faces out is pretty simple, just like every other figure, though. Just pull off the hair, and the face comes with it, and you can just put on another one. And I love that more than having to just pull off the hair, put the face in, put the hair back in. It makes it look a lot cleaner. It makes it look like there's not as much gappage going on or anything. So I do really like that design. And it's funny, even the ears, they actually look really good. If you guys can see that, he does have shading in the ears, which look awesome. The M on all the faces are pretty much lined up perfectly with his little widow's peak thing that's going on in his hair. The veins on his arm, a little bit plastically. I'm not gonna lie, there's no shading on them, so they're kind of just there, but it's all right. His upper chest, where the skin tone is painted on, and you can definitely tell because it's definitely a different color than his arm, neck, and face, which kind of sucks. His gloves have like a darker tint than his actual fist, which is a little bit odd. Same goes for the upper boots, and I guess the lower boots kind of match. So it's not too bad. But anyways, let's get into his articulation, which again, like I said, there's one kind of annoying thing, but we'll get into it in a second. His face can look up, his head can look down, kind of. He can look left and right. His neck does move around with him, and overall, it's not bad. I do wish he could look up just a little bit more. I mean, it's not bad at all, but yeah, he can look down, left, right. Like I said, he can pivot. So head is a good pass. His arm can rotate all the way around. He does have the upper bicep swivel. He does have a double hinged elbow, which does really good. He has that hinge at the wrist, and he can move his wrist all the way around. The problem is, his arm, for the most part, can only go out about that far. It doesn't even go even with him, which the reason it's disappointing is because he comes with, like I said, these kind of blasting open hands that he uses to shoot out whatever that way. Now, yeah, that just doesn't look right. It's more like he's pointing downwards. In the anime and everything, he has his arm straight out like that when he's blasting the crowd and stuff. So the only way you can do that is if you kind of just pivot his chest to the side, then it's even, or at least it looks more or less even, but then he's pivoting to the side. So I don't know what is up with that. And it's funny because if you pop off the arm and you move the peg up, you'll see that there is room for like the arm to go more up. It's just it doesn't want to for whatever reason. Again, it's not just my figure. I've seen pictures of people kind of trying to recreate that blast effect, and their arm doesn't want to move up any more than that either. It's not because the shirt's in the way or anything. Like I said, I popped it off and it just doesn't work. Disappointing, but let's move on. He does have an upper diaphragm rotation, and I believe it's just a ball peg in there, so he can rotate left and right. He can pivot side to side. He can lean back from it. Can lean forward from it pretty good. Does have waist rotation here to go side to side. Pivot back, pivot forward. So in the waist articulation department, it's definitely good. I like it. Legs, he can move out that far. Move forward that far, though. You rotate it, you can get it straight. So that's good. Can kick back. Pretty much, yeah, that's beyond good. I mean, that's more than I could ask for. Does have the double jointed knees, which do really good. Can rotate his foot, move it up, move it back. Does have a pivot, and he does have a toe hinge. So leg articulation is good. You do have a swivel right there too. So yeah, posing him and stuff isn't going to be too difficult, aside from getting his arm to kind of move forward, which is the most disappointing thing about this figure, in my opinion. That and the hair. I feel like they are getting a little lazy with the hair department, because why don't we have any Super Saiyan 2 figures? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to some size comparisons and wrap this video up. So for a quick size reference, here he is staying right next to Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And here he is compared to the Figuarts standard Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Piccolo figures. You can see that he is shorter than both of them. Piccolo definitely fits in scale with Vegeta. This Vegeta is definitely way too big to fit into scale with the Figuarts. But yeah, these two. I'm always going to mention it. This Piccolo, definitely the best stand-in for your Figuarts. Even if you have the Figuarts Piccolo, he's better size. I'm just putting it out there for people to know, because I don't think that many people know yet. And because I mentioned it in my Dragon Sword review of Kaba, here he is next to Majin Vegeta, and you can see maybe he's a little too big to fit in with Vegeta. Just a little bit, especially his face. His face looks a little too big, but again, his face was kind of big in the show. But yeah, I feel like he should be just maybe a little bit shorter. Then again, I don't really remember the height difference, but yeah, there you go. And lastly, here he is compared to the S.H Figuarts Super Saiyan Goku, and yeah, it's kind of amazing how far the not just the sculpt work and articulation have gone, but just like the overall paint and just everything has been upgraded so much from back in the day to kind of now. I know I'm already complaining and saying, okay, the glossy shirt, passable, a little annoying, but passable. The painted upper chest, well, they've been doing it. I mean, they did it with the Super Saiyan God Goku, which I have right here. So, again, not too big of a deal. The arm not being able to go all the way up, really annoying, just because it does come with that hand that's kind of meant for that pose. And again, the lack of Super Saiyan 2 hair, not just in this series, but in the Shoto series and the Dragon Star series, and even in statues, it's actually not common for Super Saiyan 2 hair. I don't know what is up with that. It's one of the cooler looking hairdos. I mean, they're all pretty cool, but I would prefer to have a Super Saiyan 2 head Goku than just I don't know. Just we got so many other ones. Why don't we have it? People would buy it. I would buy it. I'm sure you guys would buy it. Kind of strange they haven't done it. Feels lazy on their part. So I'm not gonna forgive the hair thing. I can forgive the eye thing, even though I feel like someone should have caught that before it went into mass production. The shininess on the shirt, I can forgive that just because, well, it's plastic, it's a figure, okay. The articulation, I don't know why you have that opening for the hinge to go up more and it not go up more. I don't know if people have tried forcing it or hitting it up yet. I'm not probably gonna try because I don't want to break it. But yeah, so ups and downs, but we'll get into more of that in a second. So overall, even though I've complained up and down about this figure, I do want to clarify. I do like it. Majin Vegeta looks amazing. His articulation, aside from the arm thing, is really good. And actually, if I'm going to just sit here and talk about the articulation again, his ankle pivot could be a little bit better. Getting him into the pose I have him right now was more difficult than it should have been because his feet wouldn't fit flat, and that's just because they left the boots a little too long. They had just shortened them a little bit. We could have definitely got a little bit better of an ankle pivot so he could have been having his feet on the ground instead of, you can see a little bit of gappage right there from his feet touching the ground, but it's not bad. I think we came with the perfect accessories, the different hands, spike faces. For the value of it, not bad at all. It looks like Majin Vegeta. I hear that you can replace the faces or exchange the heads, I should say, with the Scouter Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I don't know how well they fit, but I've seen people do it. So there is that, though. If you do that, the arms are going to look a little bit weird just because they have the veins popping up, even though it's a little bit hard to see because they're not shaded in, which shading on action figures when they don't have it, I mean, I usually don't get that mad, actually. I mean, I have my reasons, but I'm not going to explain them here. But overall, decent figure, definitely worth picking up. Yes, it could be so much better, but it is by no means the worst S.H. Figuart figure they put out. It's by no means the worst Dragon Ball figure they put out. it's by no means a bad figure. His articulation is solid. His joints are solid. His paint job is pretty good. Uh, it comes with a good amount of accessories. I don't want people to think, get the wrong opinion on this figure. I do definitely recommend it. If you guys want it, I would say pick it up. Aside from that, I got really nothing else to say here. Aside from, if you're hesitant, just remember Majin Buu is coming out, and I can almost say with certainty that, if people don't pick this guy up by the time Majin Buu comes out, I can see this guy going up in price just because of that fact, and I can see Majin Buu going up in price because of Gotenks. So just keep that in mind that, three figures from kind of the same saga slash era of Dragon Ball Z are coming out. I know people are going to want to pose them together. So chances are that this will probably sell out and go up in value, especially since it is a web exclusive. At the moment, he is at retail price on Amazon. So like I said, get him while you can. Or you never know. He might just end up being the same as the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and staying, cheaper than retail for the longest time. I could be wrong. Speculating is hard. But like I said, Majin Buu's coming out, so I definitely recommend getting him if you're planning on getting Buu. But anyways, that is my review for the S.H Figuarts Majin Vegeta. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe for more, and we'll see you later. And if you guys have any kind of opposing opinions, just let me know in the comments. I'm actually interested to see what other people feel like about this figure, because I know there was like a good amount of people complaining and then some people praising. So I just kind of want to know both sides of stories. If you guys really hate it, that's good. That's on you. I'm not going to argue with you. If you guys really love it, tell me why. Just, yeah, would like to hear you guys' opinion on this specific figure. And yeah, again, thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.